I'm not letting you skip over your professional wrestling career. So what? Look, WrestleMania 2, when the WWF was at its peak. Look, I understand your father was a big promoter, so that's probably your background in wrestling. Tell the fans about this. How did this all play out?
Well, my father was a professional wrestler after World War II. He was in World War II, in the Merchant Marines. And out in the water in the Atlantic, got a couple boats blown out from under him and got into pro wrestling because he was an amateur wrestler. And they used to wrestle. And then when he and Mom married, he bought the business in Hawaii and had Hawaii and Japan, I should say. And so we grew up with all those guys. Bruno Sammartino coming over and wrestling for Dad in Hawaii, or Mad Dog Vachon, or Johnny Barand, or Andre the Giant, or the Masked Executioner. I mean, all those guys, I grew up in kind of a cartoon world with these guys, Billy White Wolf. But they were, when they're at the beach, they're all just regular guys, and we were just kids. We're 6, 8, 10 years old. I'll never forget when Andre the Giant was just starting out in wrestling. I was about 10 or 11, and he's terrified of sharks, so he wouldn't go in the water past his knees. Well, his knees were almost as high as anybody at his head. So Uncle Andre, as we call him, because in Hawaii everybody's uncle and auntie, if they're not mother and father, he'd say, Uncle Andre, could you toss me out into the water? So he'd pick you up and put his hand by your butt and your arm, and he'd get down and kind of squat, and then launch you way up as high as you could ever imagine jumping at that age. Uncle Andre, do that one more time. So Dad had a most successful wrestling businesses in the United States. He was voted 6-time promoter of the year nationally because he was the first guy in the 60s, black and white, to do live locker room interviews in his area in Hawaii. He would do Wednesday night wrestling matches, air some of those beginning matches, never the main event, and do locker room interviews in the locker room on Wednesday nights, air that on Friday, have a studio program, live locker room interviews there, and some lower end matches, but to bring the crowd in, to sell out. He sold out like 25 years in a row, Wednesday night. So Vince McMahon Sr., and who now Jr. runs WWE, and his daughter Stephanie, they would work with Dad, as other promoters around the country, to send their talent and set up a system, and Dad would send them to Hawaii. When Andre the Giant came to Hawaii, he then went on to Japan to wrestle the Giant Baba, which was a guy as tall as he was from Japan, Japanese, who then came to Hawaii, who then came to Vern, Minneapolis, Joey Funk Sr. in Texas, and ultimately the Garden in New York with Vince McMahon Sr. So that was the type of world I grew up in. And so when I got a call from Vince McMahon Jr. saying, hey, listen, we'd like to, and I'd wrestled a couple times for Dad and for Vern Gagne, because he let me fly his airplane and build up flight time in the off season, 1 year. It was Vince McMahon Jr. saying, would you like to wrestle in WrestleMania 2? We're taking some football players and going to mix them with the wrestlers, and they're going to beat the heck out of each other in the ring, 20 guys in the ring, a battle royal. But we want you, you're a wrestling family, so you're the only guy in the ring that's going to have history in both. You wrestled and you play football. I said, sure, count me in. So I'm in the ring, and Andre the Giant's in the ring. So I'm pretending. I say, Uncle Andre, hey, how you doing? I'm Andre the Giant. I went to pick up his leg like I'm going to throw him over the top rope, because that's how you get eliminated. His leg weighs a couple 100 pounds. And I'm bent over grabbing his leg, and he drills me between the shoulder blades, and I hit the mat. It was a nice soft mat, and popped right back up onto my feet. But it stung. That kind of stinger you get in your neck when you're playing football? And I popped up on my feet, and I looked up at him, and I said, Uncle Andre, I thought we were friends. And he said, outside the ring we are friends. Inside the ring I am Andre the Giant. He put his arms up like to, bellow, like a bull. And I hit him right in the chin and almost broke my hand. And he laughed at me. He won the Battle Royal. I was fourth in the ring, and then the Blues Brothers, I think, they were going after Andre. He ended up throwing both out. But, WrestleMania 2 was my highlight in my wrestling career.